Oh, hey friends, so glad you could join me today in this big dark void. I was just reading this book called Optical Physics for Babies to Baby Silas, and he was saying how cool it is and how he thinks that you guys would probably like it too. And I was like, well, Baby Silas, they're not babies. And he was like, that's okay, they could still learn a lot. And I was like, well, you're right, Baby Silas, they can. So today we're going to read and talk about how colors and light are reflected and refracted. What's reflected and refracted, you ask? We're going to learn all about that. So buckle in while I read you Optical Physics for Babies by Chris Ferry. This is a ball. This ball is red. It reflects red light. What does reflect mean? Let's take a book break and do some explaining. A reflection is when something bounces back at you, whether it's light or an image. Think about a mirror. A mirror shows your reflection. When you look in your mirror, you can see yourself, huh? That's your reflection. Well, this is my reflection. A mirror shows your reflection. The image of you is bounced back to you. Things don't just reflect on mirrors, though. Look at this lake and all the trees. The trees aren't in the lake. The trees are kind of standing above the lake, but with the light shining through, the lake reflects the picture of the trees on the water. How cool is that? So a reflection is when we can see something coming back at us, like our reflection in a mirror. Moving on, the red ball absorbs blue and green light. Absorbs means it sucks it in, kind of like a sponge absorbs water. This is a clear ball. Colors pass right through it. Pew, pew, pew. Those are the noises I make for Baby Silas. All the colors combined to make white light. White light. Wow, look at all the colors in the white light. Those are all the colors of a rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. White light contains all the colors. Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was just white. I thought there was no colors in white light. You learn something new every day. Light travels in a straight line until it hits something. Then it can be reflected. Just like the mirror. It travels and then is reflected back at you. Or it can be refracted. What's refracted mean, you ask? Refraction means when something is bent. Like, look at this picture. The light goes in a straight line until it hits something, and then it bends and goes down. It changes the direction. It bends the light. How cool is that? Did you know that you could be a light bender? When white light is refracted, it turns into separate colors. This is called dispersion. Whoa, look at that. The white light goes and bends and turns into separate colors. Because we just learned that white light contains all the colors, when it's bent, it separates the colors again. Look at this triangular prism. As it turns and twists, the light is bent. And when the light is bent, the colors are dispersed. And you can see all the colors inside. Isn't that cool? Take a look at this diamond. A diamond has lots of corners and edges, so as you shine the light around it, the light is bent, and you can see little glimpses of colors, just like in the triangular prism. Look at these droplets. As the light turns around it, you can see all the different colors as the light is bent and dispersed. I think it's beautiful. If white light hits a raindrop, out comes a rainbow. Did you know how rainbows are formed? Well, now you do. Rainbows are formed when light hits raindrops or water and disperses the colors. That's when you really only see rainbows after it rains and the sun comes out, when there's still moisture, when things are still wet, and the light can hit the water and be dispersed into a rainbow. On a sunny, rainy day, you might see a rainbow like this. Rainbow colors always appear in the order of least refracted to most refracted light. That's why the red is always on the outside of a rainbow. Sometimes the light is reflected 2 times in a raindrop. And this makes a second rainbow. Have you ever seen a double rainbow? They're pretty rare, but I've seen a couple and they're so beautiful. What's better than 1 rainbow? 2 rainbows, of course. The color order on the second rainbow is reversed. So now the violet is on the outside in the second rainbow and the red is in the middle, the opposite of the first rainbow. We imagine rainbows look like that on top, nice and clear. But really, they're more like this on the bottom, kind of fuzzy, because they're made up of a whole spectrum of colors. And now you know optical physics. We just learned a lot of things about light and color and physics that I didn't know, and I'm sure you didn't know either. You can be a scientist and test this stuff out at home. You too can become a light bender. Get a flashlight and test out different things. Shine it on things and find out, does it absorb the light like a sidewalk, getting nice and hot because the light just stays in there? Does it reflect the light like a mirror, bouncing the light back at you? Or does it refract the light, bending it and dispersing it into lots of different colors? This is a cool experiment to do with your grown-up at home, and I can't wait to hear what you come up with.